Satnam, good morning. This is Ram Krishan Singh. Today I'm sharing about the wholeness education aspect of cultural detox. So, we spoke about the framework, spoke about the cultural detox process, a little bit to understand that. And so, the wholeness education piece of the work is the piece of learning how to live in harmony with all of life. And it's a piece that we essentially, the cultural detox process is an unloading part where we're unloading all of our beliefs, all of our patterns, all of our uh, sense of identities, anything that we're identifying with and associating with, and the sense of a solid self. We're basically coming into this place of presence in the moment, and it's an innocence and it's a newness in this moment. It's the beginner's mind. There's not any burden of memory or anything that we're carrying from the past. It's just a presence, full, wholehearted showing up to this moment. Wholeness education is the piece of what do you do? What comes next? Because after that unloading process happens, it's a great relief. And then there's a presence that's ready to serve, to act, to do what it's here to do. And yet there's not necessarily the understanding of, okay, well, what do I even do? Because the way that we've grown up and learned and become enculturated is not necessarily a healthy way of living. And it can create great stress and dis-ease to wake up, essentially, to go through a deep process of transformation and then arrive in this present moment and then see everything around and not really have any inner structure or sense of what to do, because it's all that we've done up until this point has been just like going in the way that we know how to go. Wake up from that way of doing things, and then what do? So the wholeness education piece works with cultural detox because it provides a healthy way of expressing ourselves in the world, healthy structure and rhythm for behaviors and, and rituals of behavior and activity that is essentially it's healthy. And it gives us a way of interacting with the world that's a healthy way of interacting. So, for example, we have the component, there's different aspects of this, and they're each a deep subject in their own, but there's physical health, there's relationships, there's our livelihood, there's our relationship with ourself. It's like I guess it's our center of presence of virtue, you could say. There's our creative expression, there is our study, our focus, and then our connection. So those are 7 just aspects of the wholeness education piece and component. Like I said before, the wholeness education piece is not necessarily separate from cultural detox, because if you're in your own home environment, so to speak, where you're doing a cultural detox process on your own, you need to create a healthy structure for your day, your life, for all these aspects of your being, in order to have yourself attuning to a very holistic expression of health, wholeness, happiness for yourself. If you're in the jungle, those aspects are automatically aligned with health because you're not having any sort of external stimulus to prompt behaviors or patterns of behavior, nothing familiar around you to bring past patterns back up into being. So the wholeness education piece really is, I like to say, it's attuning to your truth. It's something that I think it really begins with examining our beliefs, and then shortly after that comes to um, creating a life vision for ourselves, to be able to understand a full spectrum of how we would like to express ourselves in all dimensions of our lives in our most ideal scenario. So in that way, we 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 first look at our beliefs to see, are we continually um, blocking ourselves in a sense, because our beliefs are configured in a way that we don't allow ourselves to have an expansive view of ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to see life as a positive opportunity. We don't allow ourselves to experience freedom and sovereignty just because of the way that we have grown up and the way our belief system works. So beliefs is really a place that we like to start with that. Examining the beliefs, examining the limiting beliefs, replacing them with positive conscious beliefs, and there's a whole process to that. And then, as I said, after that, the life visioning process is really looking at about 11 different aspects of ourselves and the way that we manifest in the world, that our life is, and examining what is our ideal. We look again in that structure at our beliefs, at our vision of what we like, at the passion that motivates it, and then the strategy to get there. After that, there's the reality of the spiritual ideals meet reality, and we are asked to commit to a way of life that we've chosen and we've created ourselves through that process of visioning. And then that vision becomes our spiritual path. It becomes the thing that we need to commit to. And built into that vision is a revision process so that we don't get stuck, but we're continually looking at ourselves and looking at the process and revisiting and seeing if it needs to be reimagined or tweaked or modified in any way. So that commitment is a huge piece of the process as well. And then there's the discipline of showing up to the moment and acting with integrity with our vision, so that what's being expressed in the world is a pure emanation of that vision that we see. And that vision will continue to evolve. And I like to say that that vision that we see when we do this process is the light of our soul. That our soul, everybody has a unique energetic signature vibration. It can be measured physiologically. It's corresponding with the pulsing and the beating and the frequency of the heart. But that frequency can be translated into a vision. When the mind, heart system tunes into that core frequency, then there's a vision that emerges and we can see it. That vision is what we're defining when we tune into our truth. And then we need to commit to that. As we commit to that, we are choosing to embody that. As we're embodying that, we're finding a more pure emanation and expression of our soul in the worlds of time and space, in the worlds of form. And in that way, we're tuning to our wholeness, the wholeness that is who we are, the essence of who we are, embodied, actualized in form. Cultural detox process is the realization process. The wholeness education piece is the actualization, when we're bringing into all dimensions of time and space the realization of the essence of who we are, the expression of that. So it's a huge science. This piece, all the pieces are big sciences, but this is it's a study and it's a science, and it will continue to evolve as understanding evolves about our world. But it really involves everything about health in all dimensions of our lives. And again, you can trace it back to the root in the physical body. Are all of the behaviors and ways of living promoting physical health, vitality, rejuvenation so that I can feel healthy physiologically. Because when this physical body is healthy, we find a sense of ease, peace, presence, clarity, everything we can find rooted in the physical body. So it's a real good indicator to be able to contrast our vision and the way that we live to just see, okay, well, is this really promoting health? Again, it evolves as we understand more about the science of how this physiological instrument is influenced by our environments and the technologies that we're living in, the ways that we're living, and just how to promote the highest health possible. So there's yogic science and technology. Kundalini Yoga offers a tremendous amount of that science to be able to live in a healthy way, to be able to use the technologies of this body with promoting the highest health so that we can experience the vitality of the spirit living through us moment to moment. It's a natural expression. Health is a natural expression of that essence of who we are, of that truth, that timelessness. It seamlessly and naturally expresses itself as health, as vitality, as wellness. That naturally finds a sense of happiness. It's like a light that comes when the container is whole and complete and healthy, and the light will shine. That light naturally integrates with all creation and creates a sense of wholeness, and we experience that. So this piece of the cultural detox process is the embodiment piece, the learning how to live in harmony with everything, all that is, all of life, living in a way so that all of life thrives, that our presence is a positive presence in the world, impacts our environments in all situations and relationships in a positive way that uplifts, that unites, that awakens, that catalyzes. And that's really what we're talking about when we say wholeness education. It's the actualization, the realization of the essence of who we are. So that was pretty concise today. I wish that yesterday's was more concise. Maybe I'll try to film that again. So thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, as always, please write, please ask. And I'm not sure what we'll do the next video. Maybe something on the actual process of the jungle and why we use that as a framework for this work. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be something that's spontaneous and just addressing what's happening in the moment. Thanks for tuning in. Sarah.